And then in the song Killer, you say, I'm fearless now, but it cost me my soul. What do you want to say with that?
That's good, yeah. I'd say I love interviews in Europe are brilliant because like you look at the lyrics far more than I think people do in England, you know, or the interviews there. But Killer was, because with the whole album, I mean, a lot of it was kind of heavy. It's like Worried About Ray is a song about being anxious and unable to save someone you love. And once you love someone, you're vulnerable because if they get hurt, then you get hurt. And it was just all exploring that. And then because we didn't want that whole album to be like, blow your brains out, kind of thinking, you know, overkill really on that. We had a couple of songs like Cops and Robbers and Killer, which are fun. We just had a lot of fun writing them. And it all sprung off a conversation between Al and myself, talking about, wouldn't it be cool if you could be a werewolf? So Killer is all about wanting to be a werewolf. And because we thought we're such cowards, we watch a horror film and we're like hiding behind cushions and stuff. But it hit me that the only person who's not afraid is the one is the bad guy. You know, it is the vampire, it is the werewolf.
The bad guy's never afraid.
No, they've got all the power. Yeah. They've got all the control. And it's that idea of being like a slave to fear, of, you know, those things that go bump in the night, that feeling like you're being watched. And going, oh, the only way to conquer that is to become it. And it was just like a fun idea, because we kind of like to do the video like Teen Wolf meets Thriller or something. Okay. We thought that would be quite fun.
Looking forward to that.
I don't know if it'll happen, but we hope so. But that's what the idea is. It's like, okay, what was the line again? I saved my...
I'm fearless now, but it cost me my soul.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, you know, so you've become your soul. You've become what you hated, what you were scared of, but at least you're not afraid anymore.
Okay.
That's it.
I worried about Ray. You mentioned it already. I would say, who is Ray? But it's just some...
It's a metaphor, yeah, for anything that you love. I mean, we'll...
Do you know that Lemonhead song that you share about?
No, it was nothing to do with that. But yeah, we only found out afterwards again. But with that, we kind of had the idea. Ray is also Al's middle name, and at the time of sort of writing, there were like kind of different levels, because he was writing from the point of view of being worried about the band, and because we didn't have any money coming in, and we didn't know how we were going to pay the rent, and we were like, at the time we were probably like 24 and thinking like, what are we going to, you know, we need to get on. Is the band going to take off? We can't do this forever, can we? So yeah, we were worried for ourselves at first.
Yeah. Okay. You say this whole career. Well, it's a big challenge, of course. But okay, imagine. Now in the UK you already have top 10 hits, top 1 hits, imagine you get really big this year, and is it can you imagine that it's still a challenge then? Well, in a few years, because then if you get really big, then you can have that safe life that you're singing about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
True, yeah, completely. And you know, I really recognise in a lot of music when a band's made a lot of money, even if it's, however big the band, like take a band like REM, they were good, or even Supergrass, something. So it doesn't matter who the band is, once they get comfortable, a lot of that angst, that desire to make challenging music can kind of go. But for us, I feel like, because the industry is a very different place now, and you've got one chance. Because like in the day, I read about Bruce Springsteen and Prince, and it was like their third album was their big one. The first two flopped. Yeah. These days, we've made friends on the road, on the touring circuit in Britain, who were signed. We were at the same level, and they couldn't get on radio. The songs didn't break, and now they've been dropped. It's like one chance. You get that one album. And so for us, we're aware we've made it very pop, very, the most accessible that we're ever going to be. I think, with the idea that, like Beatles record I Want to Hold Your Hand before they did Sgt. Pepper's, it's like to kind of build a fan base and then take them with you wherever you want to go. So that's kind of our long-term plan, is to almost get more challenging and less safe. But I think the biggest challenge is the second album, because a lot of bands have had big success with, like the Rakes, Block Party, Kaisers, Franz Ferdinand, and a lot of bands suddenly sprung up. This is from the UK, of course. And then it's that second album, it seems harder. Maybe the critics are harsher as well. I mean, some of them have done it. I mean, I haven't heard all those bands' second album, but I know Block Party have got a great release. And so for us, that's the real challenge, is to consistently grow as songwriters and come up with the goods. You know, that's your job now.
Yeah.
So I think we want to be, if you're not being better than you were on the last album, what's the point?
Okay, so that's the long-term challenge.
Yeah, and to, you know, experiment with music, and maybe that'll mean getting it wrong sometimes, but at least, you know, you're trying. I mean, we love bands like Queens of the Stone Age, Modest Mouse, Radiohead, bands that we don't sound anything like.
Yeah.
But I admire their principles and what they do and changing.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
A pleasure.